We are mere days away from the 2023 hurricane season. Every year we anxiously await the latest prediction from those in the know about what we can expect. Are we going to have another busy storm season, or will it be less active than usual? And who comes up with these magic numbers anyway? Maybe there's an ancient eternal wizard the caliber of Merlin who looks into a crystal ball and shares that knowledge with a select few. The study of the weather is called meteorology, but has nothing to do with meteors. The word was coined by Aristotle, who based it on two Greek words. Meteoros, that means to raise on high or midair, and logia, which means a collection. So it's a collection of things you'd find on high in the midair. Oddly enough, the word was never meant to be specifically about weather, but it stuck. Trying to predict the weather, well, that's been around for millennia. Originally, it was a craft practiced solely by priests, druids, and mystics. Had nothing to do with scientific foundations, by the way. It was really more about making theoretical speculations based on historical happenings. Fast forward to the 21st century, and it still sometimes feels like the local weather guru is making predictions merely by throwing a dart at a weatherboard. But in their defense, weather forecasting has come a long way, and the accuracy levels are significantly higher than they were in Aristotle's day. This is where science comes into play. We now have highly accurate and delicately sensitive equipment for providing information on winds, temperatures, moisture levels, highs, lows, cyclonic movement, water vapor, and even the influence the moon may have at any given point in space and time. Yet, in spite of all the upgrades to machines and education, why do some forecasts fall flat on their faces? More specifically, why are the annual hurricane season predictions more like the broad write-ups you'd find in the daily horoscope? Now, wait a minute. Are we really remembering these forecasts accurately? Or are we only focused on the times that they were incorrect to the point that we don't see just how accurate that they have been? Are you confused yet? Well, let's break it down over the past 10 years. It's not just easy to point out failures, it's human nature. So let's take an accurate look at the hurricane season forecasts of 2013 through 2022. Several organizations come up with the annual forecasts, and it could be Colorado State University, Weather Services International, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, or any other weather entity. For our purposes, we're going to examine NOAA. Because a hurricane season forecast has so many variables, the predictions are always a range of storms rather than an exact number. And here were the predictions and the results of the last 10 years. Those numbers tell me that NOAA has a 70% success rate for hurricane season predictions, which, that's pretty doggone good, folks, especially when you consider the fact that every now and then Mother Nature sneaks in a few additional unforeseen variables that will mess up any forecast. The good news is that when these bad years happen, the scientific community learns from those errors and in turn improves on their forecasting abilities. Take 2013. Every single forecasting entity stuck their foot in their mouth. All of them were forecasting an above average year with up to 11 hurricanes, but as you can see, there were only 2 hurricanes the entire season, and both were only a Category 1 storm. However, since that year, the forecasts have been much closer to accurate, with 2017 off only by 1 storm, and 2020 simply showing a lack of commitment as to just how much more above average the season actually turned out to be. Truth be known, I'm not sure anyone could have accurately predicted the record-breaking year of 2020. My point is, cut these guys some slack. And given that 2017 was only off by 1 storm, that 70% should be closer to 79%, so well done, NOAA. It doesn't matter how much you improve on forecasting, there will always be a time when the forces of nature will throw you a curveball. But I do have a secret for success that will prepare you for the season, regardless of accuracy or Mother Nature's interference. As the 2023 hurricane season forecasts are released, make a note of the prediction, write it down, stick it to your fridge. But then, are you ready for this? Always be prepared for 1 hurricane. It doesn't matter if you have 3 named storms eyeballing the eastern seaboard or rolling up the Gulf of Mexico. If you're fully prepared for 1 hurricane at all times, then you're ready for the entire season, whether you have 2 storms or 20. As we enter Hurricane Central 2023, many forecasters do believe it will be a below-average season. Don't let that lull you into a false sense of security. It only takes 1 hurricane to change your life. If you are always prepared for that one single storm, then you won't go through the season always looking over your shoulder, living in fear. The season should always be about respect, but never about fear.